Dennis, let's talk about energy and specifically oil. Over the summer, we've talked. Well, we talked a couple of months ago, about how much we liked energy, how much we liked oil. Specifically, we had our rally here, and now we're right in this range of about, let's say, with crude. I'm looking at a chart of about, I would say, 80 to about 85. It's a tight range. What do you see where we're at with this current leg here and the economic data that's coming out?
Yeah, well, we talked about it starting spring and how we were bullish on oil and energy stocks. And fortunately, we were right. It was a great rally in the commodity itself, and especially in energy equities. Yeah, you're right. It's about 80, 85. It was a good rally, got a little bit overbought. Nothing's wrong with that. I think for now, as far as commodity is concerned, we'll be waiting for the news from the BRICS and what are they trying to do as far as the dollar is concerned and oil, petrodollars, so to speak. I'm expecting it to stay in the range or continue to rally. I'll see pullbacks as minor pullbacks, more of a technical nature. So as far as commodity is concerned, I'm still bullish or neutral. Let's put it this way. As far as indexes and ETFs and individual stocks, I absolutely love them. We were discussing XOP in particular when it was at 120 and now it's 150 or thereabouts. So it's a great 20% rally and it looks bullish. It's what's interesting to note is, as we discussed, that the equity markets just sold off over 5%. And this is the only sector that was not affected by it whatsoever. So it's still at the highs today, challenging the highs, which is a very encouraging sign that even in face of the overall market weakness, this sector just did not pay attention and continues to do well. It still looks very bullish. It's not really overbought much. So I view pullbacks as minor occurrence. It looks really good. We'll see what the BRICS would be talking about this week, and in Jackson Hole, what they're going to talk about. And I think I don't see any negative coming out of it as far as crude oil is concerned. I think no matter how you look at it, it looks bullish.
Yeah, let's work all of that out because I go back to a thought. I was concerned 3 months ago when we were somewhat negative on equities, but both of us were bullish on oil. And I said, well, what if the broader market sells off? And you brought up a chart that showed a broader market sell off, yet oil rally. And I think this was from a year ago.
Right.
Or 18 months ago. So I thought that was quite interesting. So great relative strength. And it looks like we're seeing that again now. Yeah. And again, we're also looks like when we talked about previously, the supply issue is really starting to take over the oil narrative, if you would. People are becoming aware, not like traders or investors becoming aware of the problem, the issue. Now consumers are becoming aware of the problem and the issue, that things are slowing down, yet it's still costing a lot of money to fill up their car. Yeah. So I guess what my question is yeah, talk about the relative strength again, just work that out a little bit. Like, it's not really surprising to us, but yet it is somewhat surprising in the best sense that you've had a hard downtime and some hard economic indicators or economic data that's happened in the broader economy, yet oil has not only stood firm, it's just shrugged all of this off. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, precisely. As you mentioned, we talked about the chart. It was about 18 months ago when the bear market started in the broad equities, and S&P went down to 27% somewhere from January of last year to October of last year. Mm-hmm. And if you we both looked at the chart of not just crude oil, but crude oil equities, the part of S&P. They went straight up. They were up like 40%. I forgot how much. So the only sector that did well, and I think it's repeating itself over the last 3 weeks, that the market went down, okay, only 5%, but XLE and XOP, OIH, and the individual equities, energy equities are doing great. Today they challenging their highs of this particular run they've had. So the relative strength will produce more strength. This is wonderful. Another thing is supply and demand. And it was just more of a trading markets for oil. Now investors, longer term investors, realize that, yeah, this is actually happening. I mean, the demand is there, that there's not enough supply and so on and so forth. So it has to go up, and it's going up. The commodity and energy equities, these two developments are very bullish for crude oil and crude oil stocks. Nothing is changing, and it looks good. I don't see anything bearish. And if BRICS come out with some news or some ideas on how to avoid the dollar, and petrodollar and so on, then the oil will rally and the equities will just absolutely will go straight up.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, the politics of it, the BRICS getting together and wanting to go away from the US dollar to buy commodities, specifically oil.
Yeah.
Work that out, and what do you see happening both short term and longer term?
Short term, I don't think they're going to change things dramatically, but they might introduce certain ideas like trading oil instead of dollars, use gold, for example. That's kind of ideas that starting to surface out there, and that would change things quite a bit. It might be very negative for the dollar, and therefore it'll be really bullish for both gold and energy and crude oil.
Right.
I'm not sure if it's going to be that drastic of a news, right? Say that's it, forget the dollar. I doubt that. But if more and more people realize that that's the direction that the BRICS and other countries are going, then just the thought of it occurring would create demand for crude oil futures and the energy equities. Just the thought of it. So that's quite important. And as you read the inventories that come out once a week, it's still very bullish. It's just one of the most bullish reports I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I'm reading. I watch those weekly, and if you have a negative, you might have one out of two or three. Maybe you'll have a bullish report, and then you'll have a negative, but then it goes right back to a bullish report, meaning they'll see a drawdown, a significant drawdown, a historical drawdown.
Yeah.
Then you might see a buildup. But then the next week you have another significant drawdown.
Yeah.
So, and I've never seen those numbers before. And like you, I've been doing this for a long time. So these are very, very bullish inventory reports.
Yeah. I'd say that there is a good chance that crude oil with all pullbacks and zigzagging, I think it can get to 100. So it can get to 100 within next several months.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
And I think the worst case scenario is which is going to stay in this little range around 80, something like that. So which is fine by me. But I think even if we stay there, the energy ETFs and individual stocks will continue to go up because they still cheap. Even after this 20% rally or so, they still cheap. Look at the PEs and just general valuations, especially when we just talked about the overall market is a little bit concerning again. And when it becomes concerning, people start looking for value, and that's where the value is. So it was the whole hoopla about AI, which is justifiable, but it got overbought, overdone, over everything, and the
Don't chase.
Yeah, chase.
Don't chase. Hold on.
Yeah. So, and it run. I think it has run its course for now, and with interest rates where they are at the moment, growth is out of favor, and people are starting to look for value, and that's where value is, and it's number one thing. Yeah.
What specifically energy companies are you evaluating and looking at? What do you got for us?
Well, several companies that I like. Some of them are larger caps and the well-known ExxonMobils of this world and so on. But every now and again, I'm looking at some a little bit smaller caps or mid-cap stocks and see how they're doing, how they valued, and what's on my radar screen. And something that I bought lately, it's called Murphy USA. The ticker symbol is MUSA, MUSA, I guess. So it's an interesting company. If you look at the chart, I'll share the chart with you. So this is the chart. If you can see, it's trading at 312.15, basically at the highs, challenging the highs of last October. It's not even really overbought. And if you look at the chart at the bottom, it's a blue line. That's implied volatility. So it's a steady stock. On an annual basis, it's growing about 26% or so, which is pretty hefty. And it is correlated to oil, but it's not as correlated. So in other words, a little bit about the company. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. It's an independent retailer, fuel and merchandise. I think they're out of Arizona. They're operating 1,700 retail stations. Most of them are near a Walmart, and they're all over the place. They're outperforming everything. They're outperforming the oil indexes. They're outperforming the commodity. As I said, they're related to crude oil, but not 100%.
Right.
So they're trading at a PE, forward PE of about 14.6. Current PE is, I think, 11.
Do they have a dividend?
Yeah, but the dividend is not huge. I think it's about 1% or so, but it's still fine. So it's there.
Is this an optionable stock?
Yes, it is. And actually, when I show the implied volatility on the bottom, yeah, implied volatility is very low. So, for example, I'm looking forward to the next 4 months or so, right? It's trading at, I think, 312. So at the money call, which is, let's say, 310. You can buy it for about $23, which sounds expensive, but it's not. You can do, well, I'm an options guy, so I'm looking at something interesting like a vertical spread. So if I buy 310 call of December and sell 350, so this is a $40 spread. You can buy it for about $15 or so, something like that. So you buy 15 to make 25. And for that to go to 350 is nothing really, because it's growing like crazy. There are no problems. There's no debt whatsoever. The projections of analysts are much higher prices. Zacks that's number one ranked, which is a good sign as well. And it's valued on average less than most of other energy stocks. So this is just one of the ideas. And I just showed this chart. If you look at the longer term chart, maybe like 4 or 5 years, it's just a steady up. So when oil corrected in the beginning of this year, it corrected as well, but these are normal corrections. I see no problems with the company. So sometimes you find something like that and say, why not either do the option strategy or just buy it outright? And I think this is one of the examples, and there's several of them, but today I wanted to present one of them.
So. Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I think a great way to play this too would be to sell a put on it, if you would, and then capture that premium there, because those are somewhat juicy, and then hopefully it would come back down to you if you would. And if it doesn't, you just keep the premium. And then what you can do too, if you want to own just the stock, you get 100 shares or 200, 300 shares, whatever that is, and then immediately sell the calls. Probably, I'm assuming there's a 320 strike.
Yeah, the strikes are every $10, so you can do that. The chart is looking bullish, so either buy it outright, sell a put. For example, you can sell 300 put. I don't have the price in front of me, but I would assume it's trading about 16, 17, something like that, maybe a little lower, maybe 15, 14. So if you sell it, and if it goes down, fine, you own the stock at 300. That's wonderful. I would like to own it at 300. If not, then just you collect that, whatever it is.
Right. And I've been doing this for years, actually, just for our listeners. This is exactly what I'll do is I'll just sell some naked puts.
Yeah.
I have to, my rule is that I have to love the company and really want to own it at that price. but why not? Why not get paid to have the market pay me to own it? And then what I'll do is I'll just make a determination, not immediately, but make a determination what call I'm going to sell in the future. And so and then I'll
Well,
collect that premium. So
yeah, if you sell a put, it's a horrible idea to do it if you don't like the company.
yeah, don't do
So
that.
it's just speculation and it usually ends up
Right.
being
Yeah. But if you like the company, which I do, I'll do that all day.
yeah, I'll do
So
it all day. So it's fine if it corrects and goes below 300, just give it to me at 300. I'm fine.
exactly.
If not, I'll
Exactly.
collect that premium, which represents something like 5% or so. If you sell a put, maybe don't go to December, go September, October, something like that.
Yeah, I would do closer in the year, definitely. And
Right. If you're
then
selling something, do it closer. If you buy something, do it.
do more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, any other final thoughts on oil as we're heading into the third, as we're in the third quarter and heading into the fourth quarter?
Let's stay bullish. I don't
I would
see
agree.
anything bearish. Seriously, love the sector for now. Love
And
the
what's crazy about it too is the value's still there. We've been saying this for a few months, how much we liked oil, and that was just at the extreme lows. And now you mentioned just the value play, and I think that's exactly what this is. In fact, if you're late, a little bit late, you're not late. It's just
you're not
you just
exactly.
didn't buy the bottom, which is actually a good thing because that can be risky.
Right.
But that being said, you're just not late. You are doing a Warren Buffett here and buying value.
Yeah, I mean, when we were talking about it a few months ago, the valuations were ridiculously low. It's just down to the floor.
Yeah.
So
Now
no,
they're
they
just
just
low.
yeah, now they're just low. They still
Right.
cheap, still cheap. So if we rally another 20% in energy equities, then it would be fair value.
Right.
So we're still undervalued.
You're not chasing here. You're not
You're not
chasing.
chasing anything. Yeah. So if you miss the bottom, you're no problem. It's still
Yeah.
low, still low. Still, I'm still a buyer.
In
So
fact, we would teach this previously. It's like you can just wait for the to get confirmation and a breakout, and that's what we're at right now. You didn't
exactly.
get,
We
so
just got a confirmation of that rally of about 50, of about 20% on those indexes. That's a confirmation that everything is fine, that the world is not crazy, and people actually realize what value is.
yeah, and this is an opportunity.
It's
So
just
anyway,
still an opportunity. Yes.
all right. Well, thank you, Dennis, for your time, and we'll see you again soon.
Always a pleasure, Andy. Thank you.
Bye.